guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Natalie and welcome to Esquire Diaries. On this YouTube channel, I take you through my entire law school journey from taking the LSAT to applying to getting in. So for today's video, I am going to discuss how and when I applied to law school. As you know, if you have been here before on my channel, I have done videos before on my LSAT experiences. My first time taking it, my second time taking it. So if you want more information on the LSAT in particular, I will leave links down below to those videos because I'm not going to go too in depth about that. This video is kind of going to address post LSAT and when I decided to apply. I guess I'm going to start off by saying the most important thing that you will do when you're deciding to apply is making a list, first of all, of the schools that you are interested in going to. And for me, the biggest criteria that I used when I was making my list of schools was, where do I want to live? Where do I want to live? And more importantly, where do I want to practice? I'm a very family-oriented person and I lean on my family a lot when I'm going through tough times. So that was a really big factor for me, was where do I want to live and where do I want to practice? So think about those things when you're making your list of schools. Next thing is, what kind of experience do you want to have in law school? Meaning, think about the curriculum, right? How do you learn the best? Do you learn in hands-on environments more? Do you like that environment more? Or are you more of a lecture type of person where you just want to show up to class, sit down, and have the professor talk to you all the time? Now, granted, a lot of law school is like that, but in my research, at least, I noticed that there are schools that put more emphasis on clinics and programs and giving students more practical legal experience. And then there are more lecture heavy, old school type of institution schools where they, like Harvard-esque type of schools. You know what I mean? Y'all know what I mean. So that was really important to me as well because I want that real world hands-on experience. I want to leave my law school life and know that I had experience with clients, that I was put under those challenges, because then I will feel more comfortable as a licensed attorney knowing that I had that in my back pocket. I also just find that interesting. I've always been a visual learner. I've always been an interactive learner. That's how I learn the best. And I know that I learn through application. So clinics and organizations was a really key criteria for me. And not just the existence of clinics, because a lot of law schools nowadays have clinical programs, because it's just, if I'm not mistaken, I think it is a requirement for law schools to provide that. But I actually did detailed research on what each clinic at each school was, what are the requirements for those clinics, what's the supervision like for those clinics, do they throw you to the wolves and just let you do what you're gonna do, or do they give you a mentor to work with you very closely? Then I really looked at diversity and student life. I really want that for my law school experience as well, especially because law school, you are consistently in an intellectually challenging environment, and I want to make sure that I'm not putting myself in a bubble. I want to make sure that I am putting myself in those situations where constantly asking questions and I'm, digging for answers and not always taking things for face value. And a lot of times I think that when you surround yourself with what you already know, you get comfortable. And I don't want that. I want to make myself uncomfortable in a good way, obviously, in a way that's going to help me grow. And I think that a diverse campus lends itself to that. And when I say diverse, I don't just mean in the student population. I want faculty and admin staff to be diverse as well. So that was another criteria for me. And then after you make your list, it's really important for you to research the different deadlines and the different requirements for each of the schools. And something that I noticed that it was a small thing, but it was ended up being a really big thing in the end, was don't always rely on the school's website for the requirements for the application. And what I mean by that is sometimes the website will be really vague, like you need a resume, a personal statement, 2 letters of recommendation, and whatever, right? And when I was initially doing my research, that's what I was going by. But then when I logged into my LSAC portal and actually added those schools to my list that I was going to apply to, and then you start the application, you will see that each school has a very specific summary of what they want. And I think there was one school that wanted, the letters of recommendation had to be one from a professor and one from someone else, like work or a peer, whatever. And then other schools wanted 2 professors. So those are not necessarily things that the website of the school will tell you. They're very vague on there. A big thing that I did was I budgeted for the application fees. So, for example, every paycheck I would probably send out 2 applications. And the way I decided to send out my applications and when I was going to do that was kind of as fast as I possibly could. I started working on my personal statement. My resume was already down pat. I had that reformatted and re-edited. Another reminder, LSAC wants you to put your LSAC identifying number on every single document that you send in with the application. It's really important to do that because if something gets lost or whatever the case may be, they can always identify it by your ID number. I made sure my dates of employment were correct. Another tip, some schools ask you to explain gaps in your employment. So if you have, I think one of the schools asked me to explain 6 months or more of a gap in between employment. I don't remember. But make sure your dates are correct, and if you have any gaps, be prepared to explain why you have gaps. This is the biggest advice that I will give you, period, on this channel. Law school is not something that you are going to apply in 6 months. It's not going to happen. Maybe there are some of you out there that did it. Kudos to you, but to be honest with you, you will drive yourself insane if you do not give yourself time. So my entire law school applying or law school application process took a year and a half. With the LSAT and then with your personal statement, you need to give yourself time to edit the personal statement, to make sure that you're answering all the questions if there is a prompt for the schools that you're applying to peer review it, because you need to peer review it multiple times. And it should not just be you reviewing it. You should be having multiple people review it with you and for you. I had, I think, 3 people review mine. So you need to allow yourself time for that because, you know, you can ask somebody to review it, but it's not like they're going to review it right then and there. They might be working. They might have kids. They might, you know, people have their own lives. So what I like to do what I did when I was giving my essay to my family and friends to read for me, I was like, listen, I'm going to apply by this date, so if you could get it to me 2 days prior to that, that'd be great. To be honest with you guys, I knew that I wanted to apply very, very early in the application process. I think most of my schools opened their applications September 1st of 2019, and I took my LSAT on September 21st, 2019. And I got my score back October 14th, I think it was. So by literally as soon as I got my LSAT score, I was sending in applications. So I did that just because I wanted to get it out of the way before the holidays, and I also wanted to be able to get answers back quickly, and I wanted to give myself the chance of getting as much money as I possibly could. So keep that in mind. The earlier you apply, the quicker you might get a response. It's not a guarantee, but I've already gotten responses. And the higher scholarship you will probably get, just because they have more money at that stage. If you wait later, they might not have as much money in their purse to give you. But for the most part, all of my applications were done before Thanksgiving, way before Thanksgiving. So keep that in mind. You know, if you are taking a November LSAT, try and send it in right after that. And you can send it in without your LSAT score. It doesn't matter. The school will email you as soon as the LSAT score comes in and they consider your application completed. So, yeah, guys, really, that's the gist of what I did, of how I applied to school, when I applied to it, how I decided on where I was going to apply. So yeah, guys, that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If I left anything out, feel free to comment down below in the comment boxes. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.